This is exclusive on Atameken Business. Today we delve into a pivotal chapter of Kazakhstan's digital future, a journey that could redefine our nation's economic trajectory. As Kazakhstan sets its sights on exporting its Govtech services globally, we'll explore how these digital solutions can adapt to different countries like the Philippines and the Maldives, both island nations but with distinct needs and ambitions. With us are three esteemed guests: David Lopez Almiral, Undersecretary of E-Government Digital Information and Communication Technology of the Philippines, and Mr. Mohammed, Kinaanath, the Maldives Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, and Millicent Perez, Permanent Representative to UNESCAP. Together we'll uncover the opportunities and challenges in implementing Kazakhstan's digital innovations abroad, examining what stands in the way and how these efforts could influence our nation's future GDP growth. Stay tuned as we navigate the path forward for Kazakhstan's digital export on the global scale. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on our program. Given Kazakhstan's ambition to scale the export of its Govtech services globally, do you believe that the current technology transfer offerings are comprehensive, or are there any additional services you think that should be added to better suit the needs of your nations? Mr. Almiral, could we start with your perspective, please?
Well, I believe that everyone is going back to basic nowadays. I think technology is based on foundational play. If you start with the most complicated ones, everything will fall later on. So I believe in the Philippines, our strategy is very simple. So we focus first on the foundation. And then we move by that, little by little. So example, we're able to fix our national ID first. So we're very successful in that. We're able to generate around 83 million digital national IDs. And then like Kazakhstan, we're able to launch also our eGov super app as well, linked to our national ID, same as Kazakhstan. So basically, we are doing, like a very good collaboration maybe capacity building as well. And another one is we're able to launch a certain eGov data exchange platform. So it's a system where we can able to integrate all government agencies in a single platform. And we start from there, and everything is really doing well right now.
Mr. Kinaanath, both the Philippines and the Maldives differ in population size, which directly impacts the potential user base for digital government services. You've already signed a license agreement today with the Kazakhstani government for a demo version of its eGov technologies. What specific technical challenges, perhaps, do you foresee in adapting these digital products in the Maldives?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think when it comes to the Maldives, we have a different geography. We have 1,192 dispersed islands, which is very different from most of the countries. And the transport and the communication is through now satellite, subsea cables, and we do have a lot of subsea cables, 6 subsea cables. We do have satellite communication. Our infrastructure is good, actually. When it comes to the internet penetration rate, we have the highest in the region. It's 85%. When it comes to the mobile subscribers, we have 1 million mobile subscribers. Our population is 500,000. So basically, 2% having one phone, statistically. When it comes to the 5G, Maldives was the first to introduce 5G in the South Asia region. And we have 5G of 100% 5G coverage. So it's a good infrastructure. So we do have challenges. One of the challenges that we do have lack of ICT skilled people, and also we have lack of resource within the organization. So these are some of the problems that we do have. With the new government last year, we have now started to digitalize the whole government. So we have started already the process, and we do have a lot of systems running, but we just have to get an integrated digital system in the Maldives.
So that's the challenge that you see. I see. Well, are the Philippines also considering signing a license agreement with Kazakhstan in the near future?
Well, the Philippines also, because we have 7,000 islands, in the Philippines. I
Over
don't know,
7,600 islands.
Oh my
7,600
God.
islands. And it differs if it's high tide or low tide. Yeah. And same challenge with Maldives. And our accreditation rate's around 70%. So we have like a 30% area where we need connectivity. That's why the DICT is very also active in giving free Wi-Fi's everywhere, satellite everywhere, because these are places that cannot be reached by fiber cables. So that's also the challenge. I think in terms of talents, we have in the Philippines, we are providing a lot of workforce all over the world. As you know, Filipinos are all over the world. Um, but unfortunately, the biggest issue there is IT professionals. They work with private because better salary, better compensation, and the government IT compensation is quite low. That's why we're also lacking IT talents who are joining the government. That's also one of the issue. Another challenge maybe is the upskilling of our people. You know, most of our government employees, especially in the IT sector, they're really good, but they're really good 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So they're trying to implement a 10-year-old technology. And that's the hurdle of bringing new technology because we don't upskill, you know, most of our government IT experts in the past. Those are some of the challenges that we encounter.
Well, it has been noted that both of your nations possess enough compute power and infrastructure to integrate these Govtech solutions. How would you evaluate the overall readiness of your countries to incorporate these imported services? I understand that you already have an eGov platform, so maybe you could answer in terms of what other elements you would require from Kazakhstan, and same goes to you, Mr. Kinaanath. How would you assess the readiness of your country?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we do have e-government system, but that government system has to get more advanced, you know, with the new technologies. We are at the moment carrying out a e-readiness assessment with the help of UNDP. So the outcome of this assessment will be available in the month of October. So we will know exactly where, you know, in terms of e-readiness, where we are. But as I mentioned before, we do, infrastructure-wise, we are quite good in the region. So, but when it comes to the utilization of resources, we will have to find out, you know, where we are.
My questions are going to be mostly related to the products that we're trying to potentially provide to other nations. So how swiftly do you anticipate to integrate any of the elements that Kazakhstan's Govtech is willing to offer? Do you think, are there any obstacles that might impede this process besides what you mentioned so far?
Yeah, in the Philippines, since we know the pain points of digitalization, and everyone is trying to do, you know, sometimes the same thing. Yeah, that's why e-governance is very important in the Philippines. That's why the DICT, or the Department of Information and Communications Technology, we do harmonize. We harmonize the digitalization efforts of government agencies. In fact, before they will implement something, because we have around 677 national government agencies, right? Excluding the 1,600 municipalities and LGUs in the Philippines. So imagine that. So the ICT become like an orchestrator. In fact, what we've done is that we don't allow them to have budget first without us approving their initiative moving forward. So that we're able to assist them that, hey, don't do this because we're doing it already. You do this, but make sure that you prepare this for this agency because they need you. Or you do this, but make sure that you do it on top of this agency because they are your prerequisite for you to process. So we're creating that harmonization activity. It's very effective right now. We're not perfect. A lot of challenges in terms of turf wars among government agencies as well. And basically, government agencies, they would love to, you know, maintain their own, manage their own, and they don't want also to be the one like working with one another. Integration is also one of the challenges. So what we've done is we build a so-called e-government data exchange platform. Okay? So the data exchange is they keep their own system. They manage their own database. They do their own particular project. But they need to build on top of this. And they don't have choice but to build it. You know why? Because this e-government platforms, everything they need is here. We have the eGov Pay for payment system. We have the eGov National ID in it, okay, the digital national ID. We have the e-health in it. We have the e-local government in it, and so on and so forth. So meaning, if they are building on top of this foundation, they don't need to repeat that anymore. So this will simplify a lot of processes. And also standardization will come to the picture, like your question, that how we're able to standardize it. Yeah, since we cannot do their work, we allow them to do their own thing, independently. We guide them, okay, based on our standard. And as they develop, as they implement new things, we integrate them in our e-government platforms. And another maybe learning that we could also contribute, and we learned this also from the like of Kazakhstan, we learned from Singapore, we learned from Estonia, is that we need to move away from legacy systems. The biggest problem right now is they're trying to beautify the front end. It's like building a Ferrari car with a Volkswagen engine, right? And they call it digital transformation. But for us, we don't call that transformation. It's digital pretension, because you're just trying to just beautify the front end, yeah? So what we're doing in the Philippines right now is we're moving away from legacy systems. We don't touch anymore the legacy systems. We build new ones, and then they use our data exchange platform to migrate, okay, from the old legacy systems to a new one. So that's our strategy in terms of standardization right now in the Philippines. Yeah.
What percentage of e-government has been already integrated in your systems already? Because I'm just trying to understand, because you said that Maldives already owns an e-government, and obviously Philippines is quite well developed in this. So are there any gaps left that you wish to fill within your systems?
We have to get this integrated into one system. So one of the systems which are very interested here in Kazakhstan is the smart bridge system. So which is exactly what we need, because smart bridge system will allow to integrate these silo systems into one. So in the Maldives, we do have digital identity as well. We call it EFAS. EFAS actually means a digital ID system, in which 230,000 people are in it. So we have a population of 500,000. And then among in this digital ID system, we don't include any child which is below 10 years. So if you exclude all this, it's about 75% of the people are in the digital ID system already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a good number, yeah. So we are improving the system, and then as I mentioned, one of our problem is that we do have these silo systems, so we need to integrate and then come up with the one integrated system.
What are the figures for the Philippines in this case?
Well, same issue with Maldives, since a lot of, if we call it the siloed or the decentralized systems, scattered all over the place, and most of them are all legacy systems, like 80% of them. But that's the reason why we went back to basic by creating this rotunda approach, okay, that to provide them a highway, okay, from moving from the legacy systems to the new system. One of the strategies that we've done also is that government agencies, we give them this e-government guidelines to follow, to standardize it. And surprisingly, all of them are moving, but now we allow them to do their own thing. There's no way that the DICT or the Department of Information Technology will do everything. There's no way. There's no way. So, but they need to be guided so that once they're able to finish something, they can be integrated immediately. It will be a plug and play. So that's the strategy. And well, it's also political will also. We're very fortunate in the Philippines that we have a tech-savvy president. So our president is, he understood the vitality of digitalization, and he was able to provide a lot of presidential directives. Imagine he instructed all government agencies to integrate with the eGov Super App example. Another one, he instructed the ICT also to harmonize and allow government agencies to integrate with the digital national ID, so that we don't need again to repeat the data gathering process. Imagine in the Philippines before, you have to submit documents from time to time, different ways. submit same information, same document, same ID, or different kinds of ID. In the Philippines, we have 42 IDs in the past. But now, only this year, we're able to successfully launch our digital national ID, and that's 83 million. In Maldives, I think we have like 500,000 population. We have 110 million population in the Philippines.
Over 115.
115 million.
115.
So what percentage is that?
That's big, right? So
85 million out of 115.
Wow. Well, that's pretty impressive, actually.
yeah, so, but we believe that the only way for us to be successful in terms of digitalization is to focus on the identity verification, so that you'll be able to fix the birth until they study, until they go to college, until they go and work, until they they will die. So from birth to death, digitalization. The only way to do this one is to create a highway, like our friend from Maldives saying a while ago, a highway that they can go there together. Or else, if you allow them to go with so many, small roads and interconnect them, we're creating a Frankenstein integration in the future. It might work, but it will collapse as well, and it will be like a spaghetti Frankenstein integration in the future.
Well, actually, let me ask you a question. On the international perspective, are there any international guidelines in terms of that would help nations steer their digitalization processes to make it more democratic and less maybe autocratic? Are there any guidelines? Is there a standard?
We are
that
looking
should follow?
at the sustainable development goals of the UN that's supposed to happen by 2030. So there are 17 sustainable, or SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and I can see that IT can be in SDG number 1, which is no poverty. That's the goal. The first goal is no poverty in the whole world. And with the help of IT and digitalization, yes, it will certainly help in helping nations be guided on how to address poverty in each of the countries. And then the last SDG is partnership for the goals. So this event that we have right now, the ministerial meeting, is a kind of partnership that brings us all together to focus on one goal, and that is digitalization. That will again address a lot of problems that the nations are facing, again including poverty. Just this morning, the conference adopted the Astana Ministerial Declaration on Digital Transformation and Inclusion for the Asia and the Pacific. So that is the guideline that you are looking at on top of the SDGs. So yes, these are the reasons why these ministers are here, in order for all of us to have just one goal and focus on the road ahead.
Well, whilst we're focusing on the road ahead, are there any gray zones that we should take into consideration to make sure the fair distribution and that all the public services delivery is, reaches everyone, I guess? Talk to us about that a little bit. Are we falling short of anything important here?
Well, you know what? The problem with SDGs is that we are way behind the 2030 goals, primarily because of the pandemic that happened. So there are 17 goals in the SDGs. So a lot of countries during the pandemic, if not all the countries, face serious challenges. And because of that, it delayed the achievement of the 2030 goals. So now we are again trying to come together and to address the gaps and see where we can help each other, because it's been said that we don't want anyone left behind. Nobody should be left behind.
Speaking of digitalization processes, when nations do get completely digitalized, and I'm assuming that's the goal, how would that help poverty? How would that help elevate poverty and, any unfairness that's going on in society today?
For example, in the Philippines, and I'm sure the ICT is also looking into that, we are trying to digitalize even transactions like the small vendors. We would like small vendors to already have the digital payment that can make them more efficient. There's no more need for people to carry cash. They can accept transactions digitally. And I'm also the ambassador of the Philippines to Thailand. I've seen it in Thailand, how small vendors are able to transact using just their phone without the need to carry cash, without the need to carry change, and they can transact very efficiently. So introducing technology and efficiency in a very general transaction or very basic transaction, like selling a vegetable or selling fruits in the streets or selling street food, will definitely lift a lot of people out of poverty. And I perhaps I would give the floor to our undersecretary to if you have real stories to tell how it affected our people.
Technology is, the word digital transformation is a broad word that we're gonna describe it. But what we've done is we focus on the problems that we're trying to solve. Yeah. So if you go to government services, long queues there.
Yes.
Red tape, corruption, because there's a lot of face-to-face interaction, right? And digitalization can solve all of these issues, curb corruption, cut red tape, and at the same time expedite a lot of processes and shortcut a lot of bureaucracy in the government, And I think creating a certain solution to a certain problem will multiply, a lot of effective solutions to a lot of problems in the government. So this is not just innovation, this is not just digital transformation. So we're trying to identify a certain problem, and then gradually you use the digitalization to solve it. And not only that, what can digitalization can actually do? So example, in our Ego platform, this is not just fixing things in terms of automation. We're also able to generate a certain jobs mechanism in our platform, our job matching system. You can build your resume there, but the system can also amplify job matching system as well. We also have tourism in our platform to amplify tourism. So this is not just innovation, but also job creation and livelihood creation at the same time. As mentioned by our ambassador, that in the Philippines, we're moving into cashless society already. So if you go in our cities, seldom you will see them paying cash. They're moving to an e-wallet system as well. Yeah, so that's why we need to take this as a leverage for us to not just to innovate, but to solve a lot of problems.
Are you also moving to a cashless society?
Yes. We now about 70% is cashless, but still there's cash. When it comes to the Maldives, I think we have made a lot of progress in digitalization. I'll tell you this couple of examples. One is, for example, like if you apply for a passport online, say if a citizen applies in the morning, the passport is available in the afternoon. Okay, and for example, like if someone applies for an ID card, apply in the morning and also it's available in the afternoon. We can even open bank accounts through the digital ID system within 2 minutes, right? So this is very effective. Some of the systems are very effective. As I mentioned before, we have to make some progress in getting these silo systems into one and then to make it more effective. So that's what exactly we are doing right now to get. In the case of Maldives, I have just given some statistics before saying that, the mobile subscribers, internet penetration rate. So we actually have very less digital divide. We have 1,192 islands, remote islands, so whereby only in 190 islands people are living. The remaining 200 islands are tourist resorts. And the remaining islands, it's uninhabited. So basically that means nobody is living there. But despite all these islands, there is sea between these islands, so traveling is difficult. Yeah. So it actually comes down to the technology. So technology actually can play a role, in getting the digital divide less narrow. So Yeah, we have good systems, but we need to we need to develop and then make sure that it's fully digitalized.
But speaking of scaling up the digitalization, are there any areas of the economy that maybe perhaps should not be digitalized for safety reasons like defense? Should we raise concerns over cybersecurity here? Is that probably a major issue?
Um, in, in the Philippines, we're able to structure the information technology department in a like a trial balance in it. So, example, we have a bureau for cybersecurity that they also govern us, even us. Yeah, we also have the Data Privacy Commission, okay, that they protect the data privacy of the citizens. So we need to be guided by them. And of course, we have also the National Security Council that, these are the things that, beyond, like data sharing, because this is it's a matter of national security. And we also have bureaus that conducts cyber intelligence, at the same time cyber investigation as well. So this government agency, they have their own respective task. But at the end of the day, their mandates is actually differ, okay, from different government agencies. But in a digitalization world, they still use technology as a tool, okay, for them to investigate. In fact, in cybersecurity, we're moving everything into encryption now in the Philippines. So we don't anymore go into a flat database structure. So we're moving into zero trust policy. So everything we do now in a new world, in our new technology in the Philippines, it should be, number one, should be encrypted. We don't anymore allow systems that it can be read by internal or external programmers. Even us, we cannot even read the data. For example, our national ID, even us, we cannot even read it. It's a zero trust policy. So we can even give the password to the hackers, but they cannot even, take a look at it. They can't even read it. So these are the moving forward. And recently, early this year, we'll launch our eGov chain. So eGov chain is our blockchain-enabled technology. We're able to finish the node 1, but not yet finished, just the node 1. But we need to have 2 nodes to be managed independently by third parties, not us, so that we're able now to have a disaster recovery in the future. So these are the new technology that we don't have choice but to adapt. But there are birth pains that we need to undergo. And honest to goodness, it's a learning process to everyone.
Yeah.
That's why this kind of event, coming here in Kazakhstan, meeting our friends from Maldives, imagine if we're able to discuss the hurdles, the issues. We don't need to experience those anymore. Example, us, we might tell to Maldives our failures in the past. We can also tell our success. And same thing with Maldives and Kazakhstan. And I think if we're able to merge these ideas and experiences together, we're able to come up with a more superb technology moving forward.
Speaking of digital threats in general, do you think Kazakhstan is doing enough in its cybersecurity efforts in this day and age, or should we maybe enhance our efforts?
I think Kazakhstan is doing quite well when it comes to technology, because if you look at the index, technology index, Kazakhstan is very high in the index. Yeah, correct. I'll tell you, in the Maldives, this year the president has established the National Cybersecurity Agency. So we have just started the cybersecurity work. So yeah, when it comes to Kazakhstan, yes, Kazakhstan do have a lot of advanced technologies when in terms of cybersecurity, maybe AI or maybe blockchain. So these are some of the technologies we actually want to utilize in our systems, like AI, blockchain technologies. Yeah, cybersecurity in front. I think Kazakhstan. I'm sure Kazakhstan is quite good.
If we were to shift the focus to climate change, do you think there are ways in which the digital domain can be used to advance green economy initiatives?
Absolutely. As we speak, the Philippines is experiencing a typhoon. And yes, we have a lot of help that's offered by the available technology now. Because, the Philippines is geographically out there in the Pacific, always hit by super typhoons, all kinds of typhoons, all kinds of natural calamities like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. So we are in the Pacific Ring of Fire. And absolutely, we will need technology for us to be able to cope with the natural disasters like this.
Yeah, when it comes to the Maldives, I think pretty much a similar story. Our islands are about 1 meter above sea level. So
Yeah.
any high tide, any sea level rise will have an effect on us. So in 2004, the tsunami came and then had a lot of damage. So yeah, technology can actually help us, in addressing the climate issues, especially when it comes to, alarm systems. And so technology can play a huge role in addressing the climate change issues.
But are there any green initiatives in general that you see a really good use for in today's digital era? Can we maybe apply anything?
Yeah, in the Maldives, we do have some UN initiatives on this issue, and they are coming up with this kind of alarm systems and technology usages there to address the climate change. So, but climate change is something we can't avoid because it's because of the geography. It will be there.
As Kazakhstan leads in digital governments within Central Asia, do you see any collaboration opportunities between each of your countries, so the Philippines, Maldives, and Kazakhstan in the future to enhance digital inclusion and transformation?
Yeah, Maldives, we already have signed an MOU yesterday. In this MOU, we do have things like human development, upskilling, reskilling, and also like information exchange, and also areas like e-health, e-governance. Yeah, so these are areas, or smart infrastructure. So these are the areas that we actually have agreed to work on. So I'm sure the MOU would allow us to work on, in improving the technology in the Maldives.
What role do you see Kazakhstan play in aiding nations across the Asia Pacific in their digital transformation?
I think for us, the Philippines is very open in terms of bilateral agreements, technological empowerments, and I think capacity building and learning from each other can be a very good starting point. Kazakhstan, the Philippines, we can have also an MOU as well, and looking at the fast innovation and strategy also that Kazakhstan is doing. This is something that we would like also to learn, and in terms of advancement of new technology as well, maybe upskilling between nation can be also a very good approach for us to unite our efforts in terms of innovation and digital transformation.
This conference is already an opportunity for us to see what we could offer each other. So we have been having meetings, bilateral meetings, and certainly that's an opportunity for us to see how we can cooperate and collaborate toward something more tangible, such as signing of an agreement. So yes, these are opportunities that are available for us right now.
Well, and on this note, I'd like to thank all of you guys for joining me on our program today. It's been an honor having such an outstanding panel of guests.
Sure.
So thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.